For many years now, Nigeria has had no record of yellow fever cases, the communicable disease that is transmitted through mosquito bites from infected humans and monkeys. While many think yellow fever is no longer a threat, in Nigeria, a shocking outbreak of the disease on August 29th has created serious concern for all healthcare managers in the country. This new outbreak has put public health experts, including the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Concerned Nigerians, on their toes, all in search of solutions to curb any spread. This informs our focus on the program today. Welcome, this is Nigeria Today, and I am Dennis Adigunloye. All right, in the studio to discuss ways of curbing the spread of yellow fever is Dr. Joseph Uteri. He is the Director, Disease Control and Immunization at the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency. You're very welcome to Nigeria Today, sir.
Thank you very much.
And also joining us is Dr. Obi Ezebilo, a health specialist with UNICEF. Thanks for joining us as well.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, Dr. Joseph, let's start with you. Recently, Nigeria recorded its first case of yellow fever in quite some time in the country. What would you say are the implications of this?
Okay, I think the first thing, this is not the first time we're having yellow fever.
Yeah.
I think this current outbreak actually started from 2017 in Kwara State.
Okay.
And from Kwara State, it's been moving from state to state, and as it appears, the country tried to respond in form of vaccination and protections. So this one is coming because it started in Bauchi, Yakari Game Reserve, which is a place visited by a lot of people.
Yeah.
So it became a major emergency because people came from Kano, Adamawa, Gombe, most of the states to visit the reserve. So once it came out, it became a major concern because it has spread beyond just one state.
All right, Dr. Obi, just give us a synopsis, background, if you like, of yellow fever and its history in Nigeria.
Okay, just like Dr. Oteri said, it all started in 2017. And based on that, Nigeria, the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, with the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, with support of partners, had what we call reactive campaign to respond to that particular outbreak. But unfortunately, just like Dr. Terry said, it has spread from Kwara to Kogi to Zamfara and Niger, Edo, and it has just been spreading. But the good thing is that Nigeria is not really resting. A lot of response has been done to try to curb the spread. A lot of reactive campaigns have been done, and a lot of preventive campaign has been done. Short to be specific, about 8 states have conducted preventive campaign, and we're also planning on doing in 5 states by the Q4 of this year in October, November, December. So the country is not really resting. Yeah. They are really putting up strategies to try to address the spread.
All right, that's good to hear. All right, Dr. Joseph, how does one specifically get infected with yellow fever? Okay,
it's caused by a mosquito bite. It's not a normal mosquito. It's Aedes aegypti. So it's supposed to be a mosquito in the bush that bites infected monkeys, who now bites the human being, and it gets to the human being. Right. But apart from that, that is supposed to be the way it is transmitted. But once it gets to the city, the urban transmission, an infected person can be bitten by that same mosquito and bites another person, just like malaria transmission kind of. Yeah. But the good thing is that the mosquito is not the one that bites in the night. The Aedes aegypti is a day-biting mosquito. It's not the one that bites in the night. So that is something that we need to also put in.
It's a rare breed of mosquito that we don't normally see in our everyday environments. Okay, well, that is some good news. What was the name that you gave to that mosquito?
Aedes aegypti.
Aedes aegypti. Yeah. It's been around for a long time.
Yes, it's been around, yes.
Okay. Dr. Obi, what would be the immediate and long-term symptoms of yellow fever?
Okay, the funny thing about yellow fever is that when it starts, we have what we call incubation period of 3 to 6 days.
Okay.
So when a infected Aedes aegypti mosquito bites a person, the person gets infected. But the period between infectivity and onset of symptom, which we call incubation period, about 3 to 6 days. So some people become normal after that initial phase, then go back to the very serious phase, which only very few people survive that. But the funny thing with it is that it just comes with malaria. It's something that looks like malaria fever.
Okay.
But the major distinguishing factor is that you have fever coupled with jaundice. So the major characteristics of somebody that comes down with yellow fever is the person has fever, the person has jaundice, which you call yellowness of eyes, then under malaria, loss of appetite, body weakness. Then when it gets to the advanced stages, they talk about bleeding, bleeding from soft places and going into shock. But the beginning, the symptoms that it comes with just mimics malaria, but the major distinctive feature is that jaundice.
Okay, I'm assuming because of that jaundice, that's where the term yellow fever is derived
yellowness,
from.
Yes, yellow.
Okay, all right. Most fevers are caused by vectors. Are preventable is yellow. How preventable is yellow fever, Dr. Joseph?
Okay, yellow fever is
I understand there is no cure for it. Once you have it, it's very difficult to manage.
Yeah, and it called it protects you. So those people that come, like Dr. Isabella mentioned, those first phases, some recover from it.
Yeah.
It's a small percentage that go to the second phase, which leads to yellowness and stuff and ends with death. So it's a mosquito. So even bed net protection is one of them, right?
Okay.
So if you are using bed net, you are not likely to have that bite. Then secondly, and most importantly, is vaccination. Because this is not the first time we're having yellow fever cases in the country. We've had yellow fever as far back as 69 that cut across a lot of places. Then the major ones, 85, then 2013. So the vaccination is key. If you give the person a shot of the vaccine, it protects for life. Unlike the person they say after 10 years, go and take another shot. No. The current vaccines, you don't need any booster dose. So that shot protects you for life. Yes.
Okay, and is it a shot in the arm or where exactly?
It's in the arm.
Yeah.
It's in the arm.
So in the country right now, from 2004, we introduced the routine yellow fever vaccine for children under 1 year.
Yeah.
So all children at 9 months are given that vaccine.
Okay.
Then those travelers, because there are some countries that ask for the yellow card, so you must show that you've been vaccinated against the yellow fever before you're allowed to go to some countries.
So, some of these countries, I think India is one of them.
South Africa is one of them.
Yeah.
India, most of the West African countries, DRC, they all ask for yellow fever. Yeah.
Okay, and Dr. Obi, what's age bracket would you say are more prone to yellow fever?
Mostly the active population, less than 40, 45 years. Just the active mobile population that are ready to take risks, ready to travel to places where you have forest. Just the active population.
But it doesn't have it doesn't have a favorite or preference for any particular age.
No, not. Just know the active population below 45 years. Just the active population that moves.
All right. Okay, Dr. Obi, we've talked about the symptoms, but assuming somebody contracts yellow fever, what should they actually look out for in terms of the early warning signals in terms of getting treatments as quickly as possible?
Okay, like you mentioned, the initial stage, which is normal, you think it's malaria, fever, malaria, general weakness, vomiting, body pain, headache, and the rest of them, which now graduates to the second phase where you end up with yellowness of the eyes, yellowness of the body, starts passing out blood from small places. So by the time you get to that stage, then that index of suspicion becomes something that is clear. So the doctor treating, we know that this is not the normal malaria. So then you raise the alarm that look, there's something happening here, and start tackling from there.
All right, in terms of sensitization, you said a lot has been done across the country. Is this enough, or do we need to still do more?
We are just large, so nothing can ever be enough. Sure. But let me be specific. UNICEF is really supporting the government of Nigeria, NCDC, and even the MPCDA in risk communication activities. And also, it's good for us to know that the EOC has been activated in the NCDC, and MPSC is on top of it. So UNICEF is really supporting in communication for development activities, in the production of jingles, development of IEC materials, giving some stipends to local people, the community mobilizers, the town announcers to pass out key information on yellow fever, on how to contract it, on how to prevent the vaccination, and things to do if somebody contracts it. But Nigeria is a big place, so it can never be enough. So anything and everything is welcomed just to pass out that message.
Absolutely. In terms of collaborations with other agencies, how far have we got?
Okay,
Joseph.
The NCDC is, they are known for surveillance. So they are the first to know that there's an outbreak of any disease in the country. They have people in the field. So once that information gets to them, like for now, like this yellow fever that came up now, because if you look at the history of how this current was started, it's the frightening type because it started from a game reserve. Somebody went to the reserve from Kano and died. It was after that person, after the death of that man, the son that was over there became sick, and they took blood for testing and showed that there was yellow fever. Children went to that same game reserve from Gombe, Biu. So people that were found in that reserve at that time, between August 2nd and August 7th, they were the ones that actually had this issue. So that's why this looks very strong. So EOC, that's the Emergency Operating Center of NCDC, was activated. When they say activated, that means it is open. We have daily meeting. All the partners are there. UNICEF, WHO, CDC. They all sit down there and look at what is happening in the field and start planning for how they're going to respond to it. So some of the states affected, especially Bauchi State, there was constant interface between us and Bauchi State. That this is what's happening and this must be done. So the first thing they did at this, trying to line list all the people that are affected. Luckily, I think one of the people that were in the NYC camp had symptoms similar to that, so they also went there and vaccinated all the people in the camp to prevent any further spread. In fact, it was there. Then the vector control, they have to spray the area for mosquitoes because you need to kill those mosquitoes so that you don't bite another person. Then the final one is the vaccination, which we have to vaccinate the immediate surrounding of Yankari Game Reserve, which is Akaleri local government area. The vaccines are not like paracetamol you can buy from the shop. It takes a number of days for them to produce a dose. So, and it's very scarce. That's why globally there's what you call a stockpile kept by the ICG, International Community Group, which is given to countries that have outbreaks. So you have to apply for those vaccines for you to get for them to they approve for you, then use for your vaccination. So, but we didn't wait for the ICG request and approval because we knew that Akaleri Game Reserve and stuff. Let us first address those people. So the people living in that reserve, the houses, the communities around them, we have to start vaccinating them.
All right. Okay. The program is Nigeria Today, and we are discussing yellow fever and how to curb its spread. We'll take a break now. The program will return in a moment. All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Nigeria Today, and our topic is curbing the yellow fever spread. And our guests are still with us in persons of the Director, Disease Control and Immunization at the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Joseph Oteri and Dr. Obi Ezebilu. health specialist with UNICEF. Dr. Obi, let me just throw this question at you. It's a bit of a shot in the dark. Mosquitoes, this rare breed of mosquito is one that transmits the disease. How likely or possible is it to actually identify the source, the monkey, so to speak, to eliminate this possible spread?
Talking about the monkeys, we don't count it as part of the strategies to eliminate yellow fever. It's difficult because you can't just start eliminating monkeys. But the things that we're talking about is just we focus on vaccination. We focus on vector control, trying to eliminate those mosquitoes or trying to eliminate their breeding places. But eliminating the monkeys is not part of the strategy. It's really going to be difficult.
Let me just throw that
so let's encourage our women or our caregivers, our mothers, our wives that once our child is 9 months, take the person to the nearest health facilities to get a shot of yellow fever. If there's a reactive campaign or preventive campaign, which we target 9 months to under 45 years, avail yourself the opportunity of getting the vaccine. If you're supposed to travel to any country and you're supposed to present your yellow card, make sure you have the vaccine and make sure you go with your yellow card. Let's just focus on those strategies and we are really going to get done with it.
And this vaccine is readily accessible to even those in the nooks and crannies of the country.
mpeg2video is doing so well on that. We have vaccines readily available. So the problem is just let the people, let the caregivers just avail themselves of the opportunity to get them.
All right, Dr. Joseph, how would you rate the surveillance efforts? We talked about it earlier, but how would you rate the surveillance efforts?
Okay, I think we're doing very well in terms of surveillance because NCDC is the agency gelled on that surveillance aspect, and they've done very, very well. They have people in all this. They have, each state has a state epidemiologist. LGAs, you have DSN officers. So their own is to go to the field, to go to the communities and ask. So if they say, if they notice any strange, normally they start by saying it's a strange illness. That goes to NCDC, and they send a team to go and investigate. So the team made up both NCDC, MPSCD, WHO, UNICEF, they all go as a team to investigate what is that strange ailment. So in terms of surveillance, I think they've done very well because this current one, if you look at the history of how it started and how it started tracing from state to state, BU, all those places, they've done really, really well.
So you're optimistic that it's been contained?
Yes, contained. In terms of knowing where it is, yes, I think that is very, very clear.
All right, and let's just talk about the history of yellow fever in Nigeria once again. At what period was yellow fever at its deadliest, if you like, in the country?
If you look at the history, you will hear that in 1969 there was a major outbreak which crossed Badibo, current Benue, Midwest, Rivers, that axis, right? Then we still had another one again in 86. 86 was major, then 2013. So it's been a recurrent ailment. But since we introduced yellow fever vaccine into the routine in 2004, it seemed to have curbed that. That's why when they do a reactive campaign, you don't target people above 45 years. One, those people must have been exposed to the yellow fever virus in the past, either by infection or the vaccination, which they used to give to us. I'm sure you recall in the early 70s, 60s, they come with that gun-like kind of vaccination. Line everybody and they start shooting. So those ones, some of them were yellow fever vaccine, which people took. So that's why we try to eliminate people that we think will not be of any help. The vaccine will not be of any help to. Because one, the vaccine is very scarce. It's not as available as any other vaccine. So you limit those that you think will really be the people that needed that vaccine. So we put that age brackets.
All right. So, Dr. Obi, yellow fever is more prevalent in tropical climes across the world. Okay. What would be your advice then to members of the public? Is there cause for concern, or should they not to be too alarmed about the recent outbreak?
Just let me reemphasize National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, the NCDC, along with partners, UNICEF, WHO, and other partners that are really on top of the issue. What I want to just advise the general public, just like I said before, once your child is 9 months, go to the nearest health facility and access the vaccine. The vaccine is available and for free. And just to make sure you take care of the breeding places, just act as if the Aedes aegypti is just like Anopheles mosquito that causes malaria. Make sure you have your net on your doors, close your nets, eliminate breeding places, don't allow ponds or puddles of water to be around. Then whenever you hear any information about campaign, if you hear that MPSCD is doing a yellow fever campaign, wherever you are, if it's in your location, there must be a reason for the campaign being conducted there. And once you're within that target age of 9 months to 45 years, just come out and just access the vaccine. Because the simple things that we can do can really push us away from this deadly disease.
All right, Dr. Joseph, just talking about this rare breed of mosquito again, why is it that this particular breed functions or operates in the daytime as opposed to the mosquitoes that we are used to?
I think, well, that is the mosquitoes' lifestyle. But just to add also, because if we look at the history of yellow fever of recent, most of those places where they do a lot of mining activities, right?
Mining.
Yes. Lapai, Akoko-Edo, even the one happening in Bakaliki now, you link it to a lot of places where they do mining. And what is common to them? When the mine is active, when people go there and dig and dig and dig, they don't come back with it. But as soon as they leave that settlement, water accumulates. So the mosquitoes, and if you've been to those mine sites, you will see that it's as deep as whatever, right? And it's filled up with water. Nobody goes there. The mosquitoes have a field day to breed well and cause the havoc. But to say the mosquito is because it's afternoon, we should start. No, we cannot tell the mosquito to start coming out.
All right. What would be your words of advice to members of the public concerning the recent developments?
Okay. I think first of all, because people that have really died of recent, some of them are not Nigerians. So that means they came from that country unvaccinated. So the port health should actually be on top of their job in terms of saving those coming in. And those of us traveling outside the country, and you go and buy, you can pay money and get the vaccination card, yellow card, without taking the vaccine. You are not doing yourself any good. Then for us who have children under 1 year, please, once the child is 9 months, take that child to the health facility. They'll give the yellow fever and measles together. They are given the same time. Then during campaigns, bring out your children for campaign. Then mosquito nets is very fine. Then don't allow breeding water, because there are some cases where they had the yellow fever in a community. They were doing vector control, trying to check what is the cause. They found out that an old vulcanizer's shop that had a lot of water in those containers plus old tires. They were the breeding ground. So let us not allow those things to happen. So environmental is very, very key.
Absolutely.
Vaccination is very, very key. Then personal protection is equally key.
Prevention is better than cure.
Yes.
All right. Well, this is where we wrap up the program on today's edition of Nigeria Today. Thanks to our guests, Dr. Joseph Oteri, Director, Disease Control and Immunization at the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency. Thanks very much for your expertise on this.
Thanks.
And also thanks to Dr. Obi Ezebilu, a health specialist with UNICEF. Thanks also for your time.
Thank you so much.
All right, and to our esteemed viewers, thanks for watching. Do log on to www.youtube.com/NTA News 24 Hub to watch this or any other episode of the program. I am Dennis Adigunloye. See you again soon. Thank you so much.